This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic.
Ricky Dicky Davy, bitches!
And we are back for the Rick and Johnny podcast right here on Most Valuable Podcast, your one-stop shop for nerdy news. We talk about movies, superheroes, comics, really anything. Like I think I'm going to start saying it as our own, anything under the nerdy sun.
Yeah, that's...
Anything under the nerdy sun, we will touch.
Yes,
we will touch
the two suns.
In one way or another, we will touch.
I hope you got that nerdy reference.
Yeah, it's Star Wars.
Yeah,
you made it the last time, too.
I did,
yeah.
and you shamed me for it
and
for
I
some
shamed
reason.
you. I don't know why I did.
I don't either. That's horrible on your part.
One son, not two sons.
There's
I mean,
two sons because it's...
I know, but we only have one son here.
But Star Wars, it's a reference.
I know it's a reference. I get it. Fine, the two nerdy sons.
Thank you.
It just sounds weird saying
You
under
sound
the nerdy
weird.
sons. Under the nerdy sun is what I want to go with. Besides the point, we're digressing from the point. We're going to start the podcast. We got some great topics for you. But before we do, a little bit of housekeeping. Number one, you want to help support us, make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Just put up a video. If you're a graphic conversation fan, make sure to become a patron actually by tomorrow, because this is going to be going up on Saturday.
I think my watch is broken.
Make sure to become that patron because, you know, you're going to get it a week early. Where this year, for just $1, if you're an $1 patron, you get a graphic conversation a week before everyone else. Also, if you want an MVP t-shirt with our logo on it, make sure to check out the store down below in the description. MostValuablePodcast.com. That's where you're going to catch everything for MVP each and every day from all of our platforms. Check out The Outcast, new podcast with Buzz and Juice. And then last but not least, make sure to go onto iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. It would mean the world to us. But Johnny, we got a jam-packed show talking a little bit about the X-Men. Basically, what the hell's going on with the X-Men? Then we're going to dive into an MCU theory about Captain Marvel maybe being from a alternate or a different timeline than the MCU. Then we're going to end the show talking about Aquaman. Should we be worried that we have not seen a trailer to this point? But let's jump in. Let's talk about X-Men. And really the only way to start this one is just what the hell's going on with the X? Like what I said, what the hell is going on with them? Because
not really.
Dark Phoenix, we were supposed to get that at the end of the year, November 2nd of 2018. We got to wait until Valentine's Day of 2019 now for that. And then New Mutants, that was supposed to be February of 2019, the weekend after Valentine's Day. Now we have to wait until August for that. There are also rumors that with New Mutants, and this is the one that I was like, ooh, that can't be good. The article states, and I will read it, it's now being reported that the New Mutants could result in almost half the movie being refilmed in an effort to add characters and make the whole thing scarier. Johnny, what's going on with the X-Men? What's going on with them?
That's hard to say. I mean, let's put... Deadpool was pushed back too. I mean, not by much, but it was pushed back too, wasn't it?
But the Deadpool thing, that was the whole, we don't want to compete with the Avengers.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm just saying, it seems like a pattern is going on. And I'm getting rid of that out of my pocket. With Fox, yeah, because, I mean, we pushed back Deadpool. Yeah, I get it, so we don't compete with the Avengers, because who wants to go up against Infinity Wars?
And that one was done.
Yeah.
Like, Deadpool was done.
They just pushed back the date.
They didn't need to reshoot much at this point.
But now we're pushing back Phoenix from end of the year to beginning of next year, and we're pushing back and redoing about half apparently of
New Mutants.
Thank you. I don't know why the name couldn't stick.
You're like the movie I've completely forgotten about because I was excited about it when we watched the trailer. Then I've heard nothing about it.
Absolutely nothing about it.
Except for bad things.
Yeah, except bad things. So I didn't hear anything about it. And I have to wonder if this has something to do with the deal that's going on. They're trying to sell off. Well, I'm not saying in general with Disney. I'm saying just in general, like trying to make the deal of like if it's somewhat interfering with the interactions in the movies and stuff. Just because
I could buy that.
Just because like there's contract negotiation stuff going on. No, we have to put this on the back burner because we have to focus on this thing.
And there was a group on the internet there was a community that would always ask like, well, why is Fox going ahead with Deadpool and they're going ahead with X-Men and all this if Disney's just buying Fox and everything's going to change once like why are they continuing to make these plans? Not necessarily like the ones this year.
Yeah.
Obviously the movies you have this year like Deadpool, go ahead and put that out.
Yeah.
But it's like why are you planning, oh, we're going to do this X-Men movie and this Kitty Pryde movie and this and that and it's like but why? By that time, shouldn't Disney own the rights to this and you don't have a say in this anymore? And I thought about that too. My first thought was, oh, push it back. Maybe the Disney deal will be done by then, lawyers and stuff, and they'll be able to work it out. Well, there's another article that says, and the headline just reads, don't expect to see X-Men in MCU until at least 2021. And that could be not necessarily just the deal in general, but, and this is something X-Men compared to MCU, MCU has a plan. Marvel has a plan.
Yeah.
X-Men, I don't think have a plan.
No, not after, I mean...
Like, X-Men, I'm getting a very good vibe of, all right, we did this movie, cool. Now let's think about the next one. Where MCU is... All right, we're on these 5 different movies. Exaggerate. We're on 5 different movies. All right, we're
exaggerate.
But they're only putting out 3 a year.
Yeah, I know, but
it's like, all right, we've got all these plans all the way up until 2021.
Disney is planned out for like 8 movies in advance already. Mm-hmm. Where Fox maybe 3, because look at it this way: they're talking about Deadpool, they're talking about Phoenix, and they're talking about New Mutants. Mm-hmm. Those 3 are the ones they were focused on. They're like, okay, guys. We can add it. It's like basically we can add another movie idea in once we finished one of them. Yeah. That's what Fox is doing. Fine. They're doing good in that realm, but since they're selling out, I just, like I said earlier, I think I'm wondering if it's something to do with that, with all the contract stuff and trying to figure out what's going on. And I mean, like the other thing pushing it back is when the deal. Well, they're like finding out, okay, what date is we doing it? What money can we get out of this still? Mm-hmm. Is it worth us pumping out another movie? All those things like come into play because does Fox want to dump a bunch of money into a movie when they're selling it, like, let's say next year? Mm-hmm. Like, we don't, as of next year, we don't have the rights. Yeah. Are we really going to pump out a movie when are we really going to put more money into this, yada, yada, yada,
You're talking about Fox?
Fox, yeah. Like, are we going to spill more money into this when, as of next year, we don't have the rights to this stuff? Mm-hmm. We're not going to be able to finish it or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean...
And I'm not saying that's the exact case, but I'm just saying as an example.
Well, it's a tricky situation for Fox.
Yeah,
because, like, it's exactly what you just said. Why wait? Like, I don't want to use the word waste because depending on how much a movie, like
the movie you have done,
what was the last one? Wasn't Days of Future Past? It was Apocalypse.
Yes.
Let me just see on Wikipedia, X-Men Apocalypse. I'm gonna pull up how much it made. No, not actors. I had it and then I hit enter and it was like, no, I'm changing it to actors.
Oh, we want you to look at the actors instead.
So X-Men Apocalypse made So it's budget. Yeah, it's not like you're going to lose money when you do X-Men because the budget for Apocalypse was about $178 million. The box office was $543.9 million.
And I'm not saying you're going to lose money, but I'm saying more of the fact of, you know what, why, like they're maybe thinking, well, let's see what the dates that are being negotiated are because, excuse me, if we're going to pour money into it, because obviously when you're making a movie, you're pouring money into it, hoping it exceeds. And obviously with the newer X-Men stuff, definitely with Marvel and with DC, I was seeing what your reaction is when I say that.
All right.
You're making more money than you put into it.
I wonder if do you think, all right, this is a little
I think Batman v Superman made more than what they put into it.
You think so?
I think they did. I don't know about how much, but only because, I mean, they kept making DC movies.
So the budget in gross was $300 million.
Okay.
The budget net was $250. Box office for BVS was $873.6 million.
So not much.
No, they made $500 million.
Oh, yeah, right.
The box office was 873. So
Yeah.
they made that much money.
Yeah, they made okay, which is why they made more of the movies and stuff like that. But that's what I'm saying though. It's like Fox A is gonna start losing these because they're selling their entertainment rights, and I think that what the whole idea is like they're probably just waiting for some of the negotiations, some information. Say, do we pour more money into this, or do we just kind of let it fall under the radar and let Disney take over?
Well,
and
because it's a different situation than Sony.
Yeah,
because
Sony made a deal with them and they're keeping their rights.
Yeah, they're keeping the rights, but Sony's also a all right, because Sony's in the position of even if they were going to sell their film department, because there have been rumors about that too.
Oh, have
but
there?
rumors like base level things. I'm not saying don't go away from this podcast going, Ricky said that Sony's going to sell their movie department to Disney, but if they were going to, by doing the Spider-Man thing, having their own universe, they're making their product a good product. Like, oh, I want to buy that. With Fox at this point, unless you do not want Disney to have it and you want, let's say, a Comcast, because that's another company that I've seen that tried to get in and buy them.
Bid in on that.
Unless you want to make it more appealing to an outside company to bid out Disney at this point, that's the only reason to make, like, I'm in a catch-22 in my head.
Yeah.
Because the business side of me goes, just stop. Just stop with all the plans. Make the two that you have. Wait for the deal to go through. Goodbye. See ya. It's kind of like, you know what?
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
We've had this child for so long. We've had it for the weekend. Probably had it longer than we should have. You're gonna go over to the other parent, and I know that you'll be happier over there. That's kind of what I'm thinking about with X-Men.
No,
they're going to be happier in the MCU. And more so, we're talking just with X-Men. Fantastic Four is going to be happier in the MCU because maybe they'll get somebody who actually knows something about them to give me a movie that's not fan-four-stick.
Yeah. Well, that's like they're with the parent that doesn't get them at all right now. Yes. They want to go back to that parent that understands them. That's what that would be like.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. But like with the catch-22 in my head is, yes, I'm on the side of, hey, you know what, just give up. You lost. X-Men's going over to Disney. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
But then there's a part of me that's like, no, try to make as much money as you can off of this.
No, and that's what I get.
Before the deal happens. Because just because it's X-Men, people will go and watch it.
Exactly. And that's what I'm kind of saying is, you know what? They're just probably like, there's just contract negotiation stuff going on with whoever they're selling it to, if Disney's official or if Comcast is trying to swoop in and do that. But either way, here's the part that comes into that is they got to figure out what dates are going to do when, because it's like, hey, if we can't get this movie done by then, we should probably stop putting money into it.
Yeah.
And that's
how much money have we wasted? Like,
how much money have we wasted now? How much should we?
For example, and I don't mean to cut you off, but this is, you just popped it into my head.
Yeah.
Was I saw news this week of new Gambit production start date revealed, and part of me is just like, just kill it, just kill the idea,
stop bringing it up.
I would love to see Channing Tatum as, like, that's another thing that like they're trying to, that I feel like they're trying to go off of like, oh, let's put this guy, because didn't Channing Tatum play Gambit in the Wolverine movies?
No, I was someone else. I'll go look it up.
Oh no, that was the guy from Friday Night Lights. That's who it was. Taylor Krish or whatever. That's who it was. All right, my point. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say then, because like Ryan Reynolds, oh, you did good in this guy is Deadpool. Let's put you in a Deadpool movie.
I'll be honest, I liked him as Gambit, the guy from the Wolverine Origins.
I did too.
Had they brought him over, that would have been like, okay, we got him as Gambit still.
What I'm saying is, like with the Gambit thing, just let it die. Honestly, just let it die at this point.
Yeah, just stop bringing it up. Stop planning it.
Like, I was excited when you brought it up, and now at this point, it's like New Mutants, for example. I was excited.
Because it looked good.
It looked really good. It's got Maisie Williams in there. It's got Jonathan from Stranger Things in there. It's going to be a horror movie take on the comic book genre. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. You're kind of playing with the genre.
Yeah, like they're doing with the other movies.
But now it's like when news comes out that you're having to reshoot
half
of your movie, that either tells me that your movie fucking sucks, or that 2, and I know how it says in an effort to add characters and make it a whole lot scarier, that probably tells me that your film probably went through the preliminary of testing, and 1, your test came back at, this is supposed to be a horror movie, or 2, actual comic book fans are like, well, why isn't this person in here? Why isn't this person in here?
Yeah.
And now, whenever I hear like add at this point, I always get that worry of, is it going to be too much? Are you adding too many characters to the pot to where I'm going to be like,
yeah, it gives you a BVS worry.
Exactly.
Because like that's
on a lesser scale, because I don't think this is on a Batman Superman.
No,
scale
I'm
of
not saying that. I'm
popularity.
saying as the general concept.
Yes.
Not as like the same exact.
This
worry.
could be worse than BVS. You're right.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like I'm saying, is it like there? My main gripe, and I know one of your many is you guys added way too much into BVS. I'm not going to make this a whole BVS hype.
Should have been 2 movies. Point and simple. Simple.
Just take a few things out. You put way too much into there. But to go back to what we're talking about,
Martha. We're best friends now.
Anyways, no. That's the thing that gets me worried too. Is like, do you really need to add all these characters? This is your first movie of New Mutants. Let's just stick with what you guys have. Just if you got to reshoot to make it scarier, reshoot to make it scarier. But you don't have to reshoot necessarily to adding characters, because you and I will go to, if we were to go to a screening of a movie to judge it. You and I could go back and forth, and depending on like what genre it is, say, oh wait, why isn't this person in here? Why isn't this person? And that shouldn't be necessarily what draws the line at, oh, we need to add more people in.
You know what else I didn't think of?
Huh?
Both of these movies, New Mutants and Dark Phoenix Saga, have 2 actresses. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. So
Yes.
I'm looking at a different article here, and it says, update, it's been reported that Dark Phoenix's delay has been heavily influenced by reshoots in response to test screenings that, due to scheduling conflicts with star Sophie Turner, Game of Thrones, New Mutant, Maisie Williams, Game of Thrones, couldn't take place until summer 2018.
Well, that's a huge influence. I did forget that both of them have something in common.
Part of me was thinking about that, but like Dark Phoenix Saga now, so both of these are being delayed because of reshoots, and this article, at least for Dark Phoenix, we know for sure, in response to test screenings. So that means your film went to test screenings. I'm assuming the test screening, they didn't like it. That's what I'm assuming.
Or didn't like it as much as you were hoping they would.
Didn't like it enough to say, hey, let's put it out here.
Yeah.
With that point, I would just tell Fox, just do these 2 and then let Disney have it.
Yeah.
Just do these 2, let Disney have it. You're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah. There's one thing I did want to bring up. First off, to finish off what you were saying, I agree with you. Actually, I didn't even think about that. I forgot that both of them have one character in common for Game of Thrones each. So it's like, oh shit, they're supposed to come out 2019.
Yeah.
I forgot what month. April, I think it was.
I think so. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, you look it up while I finish this up. So I forgot, A, that they have something in common, and B, that would make a lot of sense if they have to reshoot for Game of Thrones. Well, they're going to reshoot for Game of Thrones because that's their final season.
And HBO's probably paying me a lot more than Fox.
Yeah, definitely.
I get that it's TV compared to movie, but it's HBO TV. I'm assuming they're getting a little
got
bit
some
of
money
cheddar.
to put something.
Plus, Sophie Turner and Maisie Williams were probably under contract before these movies. Yeah,
because they were in Game of Thrones before they were in, so they're probably right. They're under contract,
and you're not going to throw away that Game of Thrones cheddar.
No, but yeah. So the other thing I wanted to bring up was, you know what you said is 2021 or 2020 that Fox
2021
before Disney will put any X-Men.
They said the article
before you see the X-Men. Yeah,
don't expect it before 2021.
Now they said the X-Men before you see the X-Men doesn't mean we can't trickle people in there here and there. Wolverine,
X-Men, the whole thing is the deal's got to be done for Fantastic Four, X-Men, whoever, Silver Surfer, Galactus, whoever,
that whole area. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I mean, let's say that deal gets done 2019. They're done with it. They like, obviously, I think they'd write in like, hey, let us put these movies out and make the money off of them, and you guys have the rights to it. Without, like, we can have these movies out and make the money off of it. You guys have the rights to it as of this date. Excuse me again.
Yeah, I'm just finding 2019
So what I'm thinking
for Game
though,
of Thrones.
So what would think though is like, hey, if they really want to start introducing them, I mean, 2021 would be a fine date to shoot for, but I would say they can even like Wolverine, and I know this is a hard one for us to pull in somewhere, especially with just having Hugh Jackman finish his role after what it was 17 years.
I don't care. Recast Wolverine.
Exactly. Oh, we're gonna recast him. And
I won't give a shit.
You could throw him into Avengers. He's part of the X-Men. He's part of so many different groups. That's one person you can kind of throw in there and say, yeah, he joined the group. And then that's how you pull in the X-Men.
The only
and I'm just saying that is a way.
I thought about this week too.
All I'm saying is that's a way to kind of like start tying in the X-Men into the universe now.
Yeah, and part of me was like, you know what? I was actually thinking about that.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's like, Spider-Man on a different category because it wasn't one character for 17 years.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm like, just recast him. Just give me Wolverine.
I agree. I agree.
Give me Wolverine. Like, Wolverine, Fantastic Four. Give me these guys in the MCU.
Because, I mean, we even made a reference to, I don't know how we got the rights to, but I think in Captain America Winter Soldier, there was that reference made to Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Where they were targeting everyone who's a problem. It's like, there you go. At least there's some reference to them in there.
Yeah.
There's not really any reference to X-Men because we can't use mutants in Disney now.
They're miracles, Johnny.
Yeah, they're miracles.
They're little miracles. They're little Hydra miracles.
Yeah, they're little Hydra miracles.
Little, who was that? What was the general's name? It's not Von Strucker.
Yeah, it was Von Strucker.
Was it?
Yeah, because the one you're thinking of who was Civil War was Zemo.
Yeah. It wasn't Zemo.
Von Strucker was in charge. I don't remember the scientist's name.
Wasn't the scientist the same one that was in the computer?
No, you're thinking of...
I'm thinking of Red Skull's
Red Skull, that would be Arnim Zola.
Yeah, that guy.
Yes.
That's him. These names, they all just mush together and kind of go through. But
you need to learn your Hydra officials, Ricky.
I want to bowl you guys into discussion if you guys haven't already. What do you guys think down below? What do you think's going on with the X-Men? Are you concerned about any of this? Because, I am. I'm not excited now for, especially New Mutants.
I'm excited,
but
I'm concerned.
Not excited for New Mutants now after this. But yeah, let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. But Johnny, let's move on into our next topic, and we're taking a look at the MCU, a little bit of a theory. We haven't talked about theories much. We haven't talked about a good theory. We even had a good theory in quite some time.
I need to get you a card of some sort because you always do this, and I feel like something needs to be in your hand.
What, like the game host who's got the little cue card?
Yeah,
is that what you feel like I need?
It'll say,
I'm always doing one of these.
It'll either be like MVP on there, or it'll actually say it'll have a separate one for each podcast.
For each one that I just put for each topic, I throw one.
Yeah,
away.
Exactly. You just at the end of it, you can just go.
But what we're looking at, Captain Marvel, is Captain Marvel a part of an alternate timeline? Now, I'm going to leave the article down below in the description for you guys if you want to take a deep dive into it. But basically, the whole point of the article is that first, Captain Marvel's bringing back characters like Ronan's coming back. I can't remember what character he played. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He was in Blood Diamond. Solomon Diaz, who he played in Blood Diamond. And then they're also bringing back Clark Gregg, who's going to be Agent Phil Coulson. And the whole thing about the article is because they're bringing these characters back, also because of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s tie in the Kree War. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's the fact of
Korath, by the way.
Well, Korath. If Nick Fury was a part of the Kree War, and he was a part of Captain Marvel, why hasn't he warned anybody? He hasn't warned anybody. Does this play into the comment that he makes to Iron Man, where he's like, "You're a part of a bigger universe," and the whole theory revolves around that Captain Marvel is an alternate timeline. She is in an alternate timeline. That's why in Avengers 4, they're going to use, because there's already photos from set that they have these little like stopwatches on their hand. They're going back in time. They're jumping timelines, maybe. Maybe that's how she then comes into it. Are you buying the alternate timeline with Captain Marvel or alternate timeline in the MCU in general?
I'm having trouble swallowing that pill just because Marvel has never played with that before. They played with separate dimensions. They've played with different realms. They've played with... But Disney, and when I say Marvel in this case, I mean Disney.
But that's because they've never had the Time Stone, and they've never had Doctor Strange except for his solo movie. He hasn't been in a ton of other movies.
That's true. I'm just having I'm having trouble swallowing this pill only because of, again, they haven't played around with this before. They haven't really touched on this a whole lot, other than doing a time loop. I mean, yeah,
with Dormammu.
Exactly, with Dormammu. To make like a separate timeline is going to be different. And I mean, that's the other thing is to make the argument, the counter argument is Nick Fury is really about compartmentalizing, if I'm saying that correctly. I feel like I'm not half the time.
I think you are.
And what he does is, hey, I'm only going to tell you this shit if I feel like you need to know. So maybe he feels like no one in the Avengers really needs to know about this right now. That there's a Kree invasion that has nothing to do with you guys. You guys worry about shit on Earth.
Well, and here's the thing, and I'm going to bring in something else. So this is from Benedict Cumberbatch. And it says, speaking during the Marvel Studios' The First 10 Years Evolution of Heroes, which appears as a bonus feature on Thor Ragnarok, the Doctor Strange star, Benedict Cumberbatch, hinted at a much bigger MCU. And here's the exact quote. What we've seen happen within the MCU is this ever-expanding capture of superheroes. Or, contour of superheroes. And I think now we're at the stage where this universe, even within our world, has gotten quite crowded. And it's just about to explode into other dimensions. I'm bringing something else into this.
Okay.
What if, and I know it overlaps a little bit, we were wondering, why is Sony's big push on a Spider-Verse? Why is their big push on, hey, we need not just we're going to have our own Spider-Man movies. They're coming out with their own movie titled Into the Spider-Verse. What if that is Disney and Sony working together? Now I'm putting my tinfoil hat on here, so work with me, Johnny.
Ricky likes his tinfoil hat.
Sony and Disney probably are working, they're in cahoots together here.
Cahoots.
Where they obviously talk to each other because Sony let them have the rights to Spider-Man. What if it's bigger than that, though? What if it's, hey, we want to, when we get past and we go to our cosmic phase, we want other dimensions. We want multiverses. We want a universe where there's a ton of Spider-Man. Peter Parker's dead, and there's a ton of Spider-Man. We don't know if Peter Parker's actually dead. We just see the tombstone that says PP, which is supposed to make us think Peter Parker. But what if this is bigger? To where after the Avengers, they're going to dive into cosmic, different dimensions. And even that Into the Spider-Verse is just Sony building that up. So then after Avengers 4, boom, the Spider-Verse is already established. And they're doing all the legwork now so that we know about it. It's established before we get to that point.
Maybe. I mean, Disney is one to actually plan things out thoroughly and way ahead of time.
In the last segment.
Yeah, in the last segment. They plan out things thoroughly. They plan out things way ahead of time. But like in a good way. They're like that OCD kid in school that has their every damn thing written down in their
every
spiral.
Possibility,
everything that needs to happen in their spiral. You can go like 8 months ahead and they have everything planned out already. It's like, okay. But that's Disney. And it works really well for them. And they're doing really well with everything they're doing. So it's possible. And I'm not downing that it's not possible that there's going to be an alternate timeline / alternate not dimensions, but would you put
universe.
Universe. Is that like alternate universe,
multiverses.
Multiverse. Thank you. I'm not doubting that they may start doing something like that. I'm just saying it's a hard pill to swallow because A, they've never touched on it before, and B, there's still hints. There's still ways to get around it without doing that specifically. Rewriting the timeline is another thing instead of making, and then again that does play into making multiverse. Then if you and that goes into a whole theory of. I just time travel.
To me,
I don't feel like getting in right now.
To me, this theory is an easier pill to swallow than you're saying. Like for you, it's hard to swallow. For me, it's a little bit easier because after reading this article, I was starting to think of conversations that you and I have had. All right, Captain Marvel's set in the 90s, but there's so many questions. Why haven't we heard about Captain Marvel? I get some of these questions. Take out the questions of Disney didn't plan Captain Marvel at the beginning. Take that out. Just go with the universe. Where's Captain Marvel been? It happened in the 90s. We're now in the 2000s. Where has she been? You also have the why haven't I heard anything about the Kree? Nick Fury hasn't referenced anything to it. There hasn't been any knowledge to it. Like, Coulson doesn't know anything about it. Ronan doesn't know. Like, think about that. Ronan and Korrath, both of which we've seen. Korrath in Guardians of the Galaxy. That we didn't hear anything from them. I would assume Ronan would maybe reference it to Thanos. Like, and Thanos, I'm not saying Thanos needs to know about it, but if Thanos didn't know, Ronan would know if he's in that movie and is going to be involved in the Captain Marvel movie. That's why, to me, I don't know if I'm not 100% sure, like, yes, they're doing an alternate timeline, but part of me is like, all right, that explains why we haven't heard anything about this.
Well, and like you said, aside from the fact that we didn't, like, at the time, Disney probably didn't know they were going to make a Captain Marvel movie, but I mean, it could be why Ronan's the way he acts now, why he like goes to Thanos. It could be Coulson. There's a whole thing, and if you had watched any of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., more of that stuff.
They do reference it.
They do reference it a lot, and there's actually that's part of what the Inhumans thing is.
The Inhumans thing that never really got off the ground.
Well,
is that what you're talking about?
They have Inhumans in there, and then that Inhumans
I thought you were talking about the show that it was.
That's actually Inhumans is the spin-off of that. Yeah. Because that's still going, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But Inhumans are referenced in there. The Kree is referenced quite a few times in there. They even, spoiler alert on any of you that haven't watched it, and I'm going to spoil it for you because you don't watch it. They actually,
I'm just not going to listen. How about that?
They have what's used partially in the chemical used to bring Coulson back to life for that show is a derivative of a dead Kree body.
Okay.
So there's Kree stuff in that. So all the Marvel universe connects. The TV shows, the Netflix series.
Just not Netflix. We're not going to bring Luke Cage in.
We're not going to bring him in, but they connect in a loose way.
And that's why for me, like, I'm mainly with the movies. I get that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is linked in.
Yeah.
But to me, it's how many, and I get how many people are like myself. I don't care about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, that was a TV thing to where I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to go see the movies. And, like, the thing with TV that this is a little side thing, but I'm going to bring this aside in. Yeah. The thing with TV shows that, especially for me, is when you're telling me, all right, you have to, like, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, I'm fucking busy. I've got shit to do. Yeah, I get we've got on demand right now, but it comes into the add it to the queue, and then it just adds to the queue. I just never get to it.
See, I've been making sure to get to it lately.
And then it
more of my
up,
things. Well, I don't do it. I don't
but,
have on demand. I wait for it to come on Netflix or Hulu because I have those now.
But back to the main point of the multiverse ultimate timeline.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it could be a better possibility than not, only because in the movies we haven't seen anything, and who knows? What if they say like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? What if behind the scenes they've been dealing with the time loop or whatever, and the alternate dimensions, and that's how they got this, and that they could explain a whole lot. They wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
But part of me is thinking, all right, like, could it be a possibility? Because one of the other questions is, how do you kill Thanos? And that's a lot of videos that you see on YouTube now. Like, you look at the side of Johnny, one of them might say, all right, how do you kill Thanos? And a lot of people are like, oh, what about Adam Warlock? Well, Gunn came out and said, no, he's not in Avengers.
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
it. He's not in Avengers.
Stop it. It's like slapping the hand of someone reaching for a cookie.
And like even Captain Marvel, we don't know, because in some interviews you play, they say no, but then the Russos in another interview say yes. So we don't know if she's in Infinity War. We
Part
know
4.
she's going to be in Infinity. Like, we don't know if she's in Infinity War, the one coming out in less than a month.
No, we don't know if
we know for sure she's going to be in Avengers 4. And part of me goes, if it's not Adam Warlock, Captain Marvel has to be the trump card. She has to be the one to take down Thanos. Unless you're coming at it with these heroes need to bind together and find the weaknesses within these stones that they have all used. Like, Doctor Strange is going to have some inside knowledge about the time stone that helps them get that away from Thanos. Oh, Thor's going to have some weird knowledge about the Tesseract, or about the Ether, where all of them kind of know about the Tesseract already.
Well,
Vision's going to be able to tell you a little bit about the Mind Stone.
Because he does keep harping on, hey, I have no idea what this thing exactly does. It's in my head.
Yeah.
He's afraid of it.
Exactly.
So maybe during some of this time, he'll actually have figured out some of the things about the stone.
And then the Soul Stone, we don't know where the hell it is. We don't know where the hell that's
Lost cause.
We don't know where that thing is.
Heimdall.
Here's an offshoot question.
Yes.
And I'm asking this only because
You're an offshoot
and
question.
I can't remember Twitter user who, one of our fans, I know that, sent me a Twitter mention asking about, so that Cap scene
Yeah.
where Thanos comes down and he's got the two hands. If you do look close enough, there is a little bit of a
orange.
Of a little orangey tint in his iris.
Capsize.
Capsize. There are some possibilities. Either Cap has the Mind Stone. Don't think so.
No.
Vision disguising himself as Cap. Maybe.
That's possible.
Or the one that I've heard, which I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it would make sense if, while being the Nomad, Cap found the Soul Stone and he has the Soul Stone.
That could be it too. I would say the last two are the cooler options because having Vision stronger than Captain America in the first place.
Yeah.
Because that would explain Thanos' face of, why is he so strong?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he swats down it and Cap's going like this. Could you
imagine? It could make sense that is Vision.
Right in the middle of it, like doing that, doing the scream thing, switches back to Vision.
Because you do think about it. It's like the same point of, people ask, well, why does he look like Paul Bettany? Well, it's because Vision can construct anything.
Yeah, he can make himself look like anything or anyone.
He could basically say, I want to look like Martian Manhunter. I want to look like Cap.
Make himself look like Cap.
Oh, I want to look like Tony. I can make myself look like... He's like a Mystique Martian Manhunter hybrid.
Well, Martian Manhunter can make himself look like whoever he wants too. So it's like Martian Manhunter.
Especially John Johns.
Yeah, John Johns.
His alter ego. But I mean...
So, it could be that one. I have to say that one's cool.
I'm buying into that theory a little bit, that could be Vision disguised as Cap.
If I'm going to rate them, it's going to be, that's number one. Number two is that Cap found it. And what was the third one? I don't remember what you said.
That Cap has the Soul Stone.
No, that's my second one.
So one of them was Vision as Cap.
Yeah.
One of them was he's got the Soul Stone.
Yep.
The other one, it was the one I completely wrote off. It's the one I completely wrote off and said, no, that's not going to happen. I can't remember what it was.
Well, then we don't have a number three.
I can't even remember what it was.
I would say Vision, the overall one I would go with is Vision is make himself look like Cap.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the other one, if you think about it, if you remember back to Thor Ragnarok, when he says, Heimdall, show me what's going on, and Thor's eyes turn orange, and he can see everything that's going on with Heimdall.
So you're saying that's maybe Heimdall doing the same thing with Cap?
Could be.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Because is Heimdall going to be in? He didn't die.
He's not dead. At least not that we know of yet. He might be in Infinity
He could
Wars.
still even have the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a throwback for us. We even talked about Heimdall having the Soul Stone.
Johnny harping on the Heimdall theory? What?
Is that what you're still banking on, that he has the Soul Stone?
That's my pony right there. That's my go-to, but I like some of these other theories.
Any final thoughts on the alternate timeline theory or anything?
Again, I still having trouble swallowing it because there's ways we can get around without switching the whole timeline. But
she's the trump card, though, right?
Yes, in a sense, yeah. She's the one that's probably going to push it over the edge.
Because in the comics, it's Adam Warlock who's the trump card, he's not going to be in this.
She's probably the one that helped make that push that can defeat Thanos, and because we always say it's Thanos, but Thanos and his Black Order. And Black Order. That's the problem.
Also, you know what I heard? Little rumor in MCU land. So they have teased, I guess, that the Black Order is because what's one thing in the trailer? Whose voices have we never heard?
Go for it.
The Black Order.
Yeah.
So there are teases.
Yeah, no, that's right. You're right.
What the Russos have said is that you will recognize their voices, and one of the names for one of them is Kevin Conroy, Batman.
Oh,
Kevin Conroy. Maybe that's what Peter Dinklage is.
Yeah.
Maybe he's one of them. But I'm excited. As soon as I heard Kevin Conroy, I was like, I'm just going to hear Batman. That's all I'm going to hear is Batman. That's all I'm going to hear is just straight Batman. And I don't think I'm going to be able to disassociate that in my head.
No,
I don't know if it's just going to be an overload and just my brain's going to explode that night.
He's Batman.
And then we're not going to do podcasts that night because his brain's going to explode while watching Avengers.
I'm going to have to clean it up off the...
Yeah, the movie theater ain't going to clean that. They're going to give you the broom, and you're going to have to do that for me.
Well, the good thing I'm bringing tissue. I can get started as the movie's going on.
Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below about the alternate timeline theory, about anything we talked about with the MCU, and anything. Also, let us know anything Avengers that you want us to talk about before we gear up for Infinity War on the 26th. That's when you and I are seeing it. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. And Johnny, let's move on. Final topic. We're diving into DC, and guess what? It's another It's another negative topic. Like, I am getting sick and tired of talking negativity when it comes to DC.
Negative Nancy over here.
Well, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Am I wrong?
I had to throw the joke at you.
Am I wrong? People, tell me if I'm wrong. You guys usually love to. But what we're talking about today...
Yeah, tell Ricky how he's wrong.
Aquaman director James Wan revealed why we don't have a trailer yet. And in a series of tweets, here was the entire conversation. He said... Hey friends, I usually do my best to avoid internet noises, especially fabricated distractions, but a teaser trailer going out this weekend was never in the books. Despite some claims, it's not because of anyone or any nefarious reason holding it back. It's me. I'm simply not ready yet to share. This movie is filled to the gills with VFX, and the process is as slow and laborious as a sea slug. Yes, even shots from the trailers take forever to do, and I refuse to put out anything that might be construed as subpar. I know it seems like nothing much is brewing above the surface, but I can assure you we're working nonstop under the waves. Wave emoji, winky emoji. And then he says, P.S. And yes, I plan to use oceanic puns and references every chance I get. Cry laughing emoji. Johnny, here's what I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
We have no trailer for Aquaman. Director says it's because, like, I can respect what he's saying.
Yes,
I agree. From an artist standpoint, I can respect. I don't want to put out a subpar product. But should we be worried that there's no trailer at this point and this movie comes out November, December?
A little bit, because you know what? We should at least get a teaser trailer. I mean, I'm sorry. I get where you want to make your craft the best you can. I do the same thing when it comes to cosplaying. We both used to do it when it comes to music.
Yeah.
You would do it for the podcast.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, exactly. This, I don't want a subpar.
No, Ricky edits it, goes home and edits it.
And if something doesn't go up, I won't put it up.
Yeah.
And that's just how, like, and that from that standpoint, I can understand that. But like you said, a teaser, give me something.
Give me a teaser trailer,
like,
something to say that, hey, this is coming.
And how many movies have we
Get me
seen
excited for it.
come out with a teaser trailer? The FX aren't exactly what it is. And then by the movie, it's like, okay, we realize it's not a finished product yet at this point. It's just something to get the hype going and get me excited about
Something
your movie.
like 10 seconds of the movie so I get excited for it.
About 10 to 20.
Yeah, well, teaser trailers are what, 30 seconds to almost a minute
Trailers
sometimes?
are longer now. Trailers are like 5 minutes
Oh,
now.
that's true. That's right. I
Teaser
forgot.
trailers are now like a minute, 30 seconds.
So like 30 seconds to a minute. And of something to get me excited for the movie coming out. Because right now I have nothing to go off of other than the fact that I've already seen Jason Momoa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I mean, I already know what he looks like, though. You have nothing to get me excited for this movie coming out. So that's what gets me worried is like, okay, you got nothing to get me excited for it. You want to start planning that hype because honestly, I almost forgot at one point that there was an Aquaman movie coming out because of all the other movies you and I go see.
Yeah, and I mean,
almost forgot.
The thing that I'm looking at is my first thought was, oh, how many movies has James Wan directed? And he's directed a total of 13 movies, most of which what you have probably heard of or seen. Saw 1, Insidious 1, Insidious 2, The Conjuring 1, The Conjuring 2, and Furious 7, which was the Fast and Furious. Those are probably the most notable ones that both you and
I've seen one. I've heard of all of those.
I've heard of all of them. I've only seen Furious 7. I don't watch
I think
horror
I've seen the
movies.
first Conjuring. So
I don't watch horror movies. And the thing that I'm wondering at this point is, all right, for a movie like Furious 7, you don't need to put out a trailer. Because guess what? People are going to go see that because the stars in it. Furious 7 had, not only did it have Vin Diesel, who in a Fast and the Furious movie can sell it himself, had Paul Walker, Jason Statham was in that one. You had everyone returning. The Brewster came back as Mia, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was in there. Kurt Russell was in that one. That's a movie where it's like, all right, Gal Gadot was in that one. She was in Furious 7. That's a movie where you don't need to give me a teaser trailer. Just give me a normal trailer. I'm fine. Fast cars go boom. I'm gonna go see it. Most people are just gonna go see it for the action alone.
Fast cars go boom.
Yeah, fast cars go boom. Then all the horror films. I'm sorry, horror has its niche where just because it's a horror film, people are gonna go see it.
Yeah.
So you don't really need to have like, ooh, the teaser. This is the first time in his directorial. I'm trying to see, did he ever produce a comic book movie? No. Mortal Kombat, he's announced as a producer, but that's after Aquaman. This is the first comic book one. And like the comic book realm of movies is different than anything else. We live, breathe, succeed on hype.
Yes.
Because we are, as comic book fans and comic book nerds, and just superhero fans and superhero nerds, we are very critical. We want it to be as close to the source as possible. However, we do understand that people have their own minds. Like, for example, Marvel. I heard this week and it's perfect. You want to know why Marvel is so successful? It's because they have fans making the movies.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige, the directors, these guys are all fans
of
these Marvel characters. Whereas I look at DC, I look at Warner Brothers, Jeff Johns, I'm assuming, like, Jeff Johns we trust. How long have I been saying this? Warner Brothers doesn't believe that. Warner Brothers doesn't even believe that, doesn't even give the right people the creative control over these things. And it's not made by the fans. And look at how crappy that the DCU has been. Like, we had a comment last week or 2 weeks ago saying just blow up the DCEU. And that he's like, and the commenter said, that's coming from a DC fan. I almost feel the same way, and I'm a DC guy.
Yep.
Like, the thing with this and getting it back to Aquaman, you need something to hype us up.
Exactly.
You need
No, I
something
completely
because
agree.
this movie, yes, Jason Momoa is a big star. Game of Thrones kind of catapulted him. He was great. I'm going to say great as Aquaman in Justice League. I
agree.
really
I
liked the
him.
Aquaman that he was going with. Although, looking into it, a lot of his Aquaman scenes were cut from that movie. Like, I guess Dennis Leary's character was supposed to, the villain, he's playing the villain, was supposed to be in there, got cut. There was supposed to be a lot more scenes with him on the village, got cut. Joss Whedon, not Joss Whedon cutting it, but after Zack Snyder left, Warner Brothers got their little grubby hands on it and cut some stuff. But part of me is like, I get it. I get the artist side, but the comic book realm is a different kind of thing to where we live off of hype. And if you don't hype it now, this movie, yes, you'll make money because DC fans will go see it.
We're going to see it, so.
But we live off of hype. That's how we do here. And like, look at what Marvel does with how they hype movies.
Yeah.
We live off of hype.
What, there's at least, for Marvel, there's at least 3 trailers for them. I should probably put this in front of me more. There's probably 3 trailers for a Marvel movie, plus at least one teaser trailer, if not 2 sometimes. That's what Marvel does. That's what gets me so fucking hyped about it. Not to mention, I mean, okay, Infinity Wars is an unfair example because we have every freaking Marvel hero in this now.
Yeah.
But I mean, just that's an example. We had what? 2 teaser trailers. We had 3 trailers. 2 to 3 trailers now.
Yeah, two full lengths, I think.
Yeah,
3 if you were at the DC 23 Expo.
yeah. Or if you saw the clip that got leaked.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had at least 2 to 3 trailers. We've had at least 1 teaser trailer, and just the massive amount of hype that's out on it. In general. Like, I admit that's an unfair example, but Marvel does that. They put out at least 3 trailers per movie. At least it seems like 2 to 3, and at least 1 teaser trailer per movie. I'm worried about it because you guys aren't giving me anything to go off of. You're not getting me excited to go see this movie. Ready Player One. You and I, when it first came out, excited to see it. And then that's a good example because as the trailers came out, like early trailers came out for that, I was skeptical about the movie. However, the trailers that came out ramping up for the release looked way better than what they gave off early on. So I get that part of it. Like, it's a fine line to where, yes, you want to hype everyone up, but you don't want to turn people off at the same time. Yeah, I get that. That's part of it. You don't want to give too much away, but that's what a teaser trailer's for.
And I mean, a good thing, or a good point, as I'm reading here in this article about it, it says last month Sony Pictures unveiled their first teaser for Venom starring Tom Hardy. And the trailer was analyzed and criticized for not including the titular symbiote, as well as including shots that many speculated featured unfinished VFX. I don't know about you. Those people who were the ones that they said were criticizing it for unfinished FX, I didn't have that complaint at all with the Venom trailer. No,
trailer nor the teaser trailer.
Because how they framed it was, my focus wasn't on anything VFX wise. It was focused on the story.
Yeah.
Built off of the narration from Tom Hardy.
Exactly. No, that was a great way.
They could even do something like that with Momoa, to where it's like, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and we get that. And another thing for Aquaman that makes it tricky is Tom Hardy's not underwater.
Yeah, that's true.
Venom's not underwater. There's, like the director did say, there's a ton of VFX, visual effects, that have to go into this. But you gotta give me, I'm not buying.
Tease me something.
I'm not buying. I'm buying the fact that there's probably a lot of visual effects. I'm buying the fact that they're not all done. I'm not buying the fact that you can't give me something.
Yeah,
I'm not buying the fact that you can't give me a little bit of something.
Can you give me a little taste?
Give me a little taste. Give me a little something that makes me...
Give me that sample from the store so I know if I want to buy this.
Not exactly that. I'm going a different route. Mama Karlic's making some dinner, right? Mama Karlic's sitting there making dinner. You're coming up, little Johnny comes up. When's dinner going to be done? I'm hungry, I'm hungry. She gives you that little taste. She pulls out the spoon, gives you that little taste, makes you want the dinner that much more.
Yeah, that didn't happen in my house.
Because you could just taste it a little bit.
That didn't happen in my house.
All right, Mama Widmer's sitting there. She's now making,
there you go.
She's now stepping in. You come up, Mom, I want some dinner. I want some right now. She takes a little, usually she taste tests it, but usually, all right, going to give you a little bit of something. Gets that little bit on your, get right there on the tongue. Makes you want the dinner. See, makes you want it that much more. That's what I want from Aquaman.
My example was a little close to yours. It was you go to the store, you're walking around, you're debating if you want to buy something.
I just get the free samples and leave.
That's what I'm saying. They have the free sample right there.
I don't buy it. I just get the free samples.
Just go along with me on this for a second. I went along with yours, except for it being in my house.
Yeah.
You go to the store, they have the summer sauce, not summer sausage. They have these sausages made up. Little thing. You find like, this is fucking delicious.
Are we talking Italian sausage, Polish sausage?
Polish sausage.
Okay. So kielbasa.
Kielbasa, yeah. Okay. You want me to go with the proper term? Kielbasa.
Thank
Fine.
you.
Happy now? So anyways.
Want to fight about it?
Hey, you want to fight about it?
Continue with your analogy.
You freaking paisan. So anyways, you grab that piece of sausage, you taste it like, this is fucking delicious. I'm going to buy this shit. That's what I want. I want that little taste so I can say, I want to go buy this.
And then you don't have the money and you're like, I got to come back in December.
Obviously,
I got to come back in December.
November.
Any final thoughts on this before we wrap up the shop today?
Just give us a teaser trailer, please.
I get it. I get like
teaser trailer.
Artists
30 seconds.
Directors are artists in their own.
They are.
I get it. You want this thing to be perfect. Give me something though. Give me a little bit of something.
I completely understand. I do same thing with my cosplays. I don't want to roll one out until it's ready to go.
Give me a little
but give me a taste.
Of something.
Give me a taste of something.
This is where you guys come in. Let us know down below. What do you guys think? Are you guys worried we haven't got a trailer yet? What are your thoughts about the whole not wanting to put it out because the VFX, the visual effects might not be done? Also, let us know what you think about anything we talked about today. Housekeeping here at the end. You want to help support us on Patreon, that link down below in the description. You can join a Rick and Johnny podcast. We actually will be having 2 new patrons on podcasts in April. William and then Shane O'Mac, one of our followers on Twitter, will be new patrons in April. Want to officially welcome them to the Patreon MVP family. You can also get an MVP t-shirt. That link down below in the description. Most Valuable Podcast, that has everything for MVP each and every day. And last but not least, go ahead and give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. Want to thank you guys for watching. Want to thank you guys for listening. And as always, have a good day, everybody.